You may not know it, but animals kill thousands of people every day. Biting, mauling, poisoning, skewering. There are a lot of different ways to die. Some attackers think we're food. Others are protecting their turf or their young. And sometimes we're simply collateral damage. Wildlife cameraman Richard Terry has traveled the globe to film dangerous animals.
Just then he had his eyes fixed on me and looked like he was ready to charge.
Luann Freer is a wilderness medical doctor.
Almost done, Nina. You're doing great.
She treats people who've gotten too close. Who better to rank the killers on our list and give us the toolkit we need to survive? Best place to start? Naturally, with the predators. The animals that are often out to eat us when they attack. One of the most intimidating, the tiger. On the outskirts of Kaziranga National Park in northeast India, villagers have lost several cows to a tiger in the past week. Rangers head out on elephants to capture her and return her to the preserve. Little do they know, the tiger has them in her sights. It's an extraordinary act, revealing the tiger's phenomenal power.
All it takes is a couple of moves, and it's airborne, literally airborne, with its colossal claws and its gaping jaws. That coming towards you, if it makes contact, you're mincemeat.
You know, you think, oh, I'll see it coming, I'll somehow get in a defensive posture. But how quick that animal moved.
The ranger survives, but loses 3 fingers. Tigers usually eat deer, monkeys, and other wild animals. But sometimes, it's us they prefer. In fact, some tigers facing habitat loss and dwindling food supplies have turned humans into their primary prey.
When a big cat becomes a man-eater, it is because they've had the taste of human flesh, and they either prefer it or they see a human as a much easier food source. So they become a very dangerous animal.
The lion. Harvest time in Tanzania. Farmers work during the day, then stay in their fields to keep away bush pigs at night. Some lions see them as an easy meal. And lions always opt for easy if they can.
Once an animal preys on a human or eats human flesh, they do tend to return.
A man-eating lion would need to eat about 40 people a year in order to survive.
And sometimes, they do. Lions kill us the same way they kill any other animal. They sneak up, prepare to ambush, then go for the throat.
That's focus. This is exactly where the expression going for the jugular comes from.
It's a quick death for the zebra, even quicker for humans. The next predator is equally adept at turning us into a meal. The crocodile haunts rivers and lakes. In much of Africa, life revolves around the river. But when you enter these waters, you go at your own risk. This is their territory, not ours. Nile crocodiles lie silently in wait. Most victims never see them coming. Whether it's man or beast, if a croc latches on, it's often game over.
Crocodiles have a mind-blowing power in their jaws, greater than that of a great white shark. They would actually break down their own teeth in order to get a good hold of their prey.
And the bite is just the beginning.
They call it a death roll. They take you underwater where you can't breathe, thrash around, and attempt to actually immobilize or drown their victim. You have to fight back. You have to, that's your only chance.
So of the animals who want to eat us, which predator kills the most people? Estimated deaths vary because of unreported fatalities. But here is our predator countdown. Sharks are the most demonized of all the top predators. But in truth, their average yearly death toll is surprisingly low, about 5. Contrast that with what we do to them. Humans kill up to 70 million sharks every year. Lions definitely can be man-eaters. They kill up to 500 people per year. Human encroachment threatens the lion's survival as a species, but it also puts us in harm's way. Tigers are rapidly disappearing from the planet as we wipe out their prey. As few as 3,000 survive in the wild. But those that remain still kill an estimated 800 people per year. Nothing comes close to the deadliest predator on the list, though. A cold-blooded killer, the crocodile. Their death toll is a jaw-dropper, an estimated 2,000 people every year. And that number could be higher, because many attacks occur in underdeveloped areas where deaths are not always reported. So how do you survive a croc attack? React fast. Crocs often release for a better grip, so be ready to pull away when it opens its jaws. Fight back. Dig fingers into its eyes. That's a vulnerable spot for any animal. Roll with the croc. The death roll helps rip you into bite-sized chunks. Spin with it, and you might not get torn apart. Our next group of killers doesn't want to eat us, but they can still take us out with a single deadly strike. Big predators often leave the biggest scars on our psyches. But some of the smaller animals can be a lot more lethal. These are the venom killers, the masters of the hit and run. Their toxic weaponry attacks us from the inside out. Some, like the rattlesnake, live in our own backyards.
Do you think there's going to be any strawberries?
Probably not till next year.
No?
In Tucson, Arizona, Leanne Blue is working in the garden while her husband shoots home videos.
What the f? Sweetie, you okay? What the? What was that? What is that sound? Is that a snake? Find out what the first aid is for a snake bite. Go.
Really hurts.
With a rattlesnake bite, every second counts.
Come on.
Oh, God, it hurts so bad.
The reason she's having so much pain is the venom is infiltrating the tissue. It's causing the muscles, the skin to die.
The venom spreads up Leanne's arm as doctors treat her with dose after dose of anti-venom. Without such quick treatment, she could have died. Fortunately for humans, rattlesnakes usually save their venom for prey they can eat. Their rattle warns larger animals, including humans, to stay away. But there are other deadly snakes out there. In Asia and Africa, cobras are the killers to watch out for. Cobras often feed on rats, and rats live among people, which means cobras do too. When startled, they'll rear into the air to scare off a threat. And if that doesn't work, they'll strike, and strike hard.
After being bitten by a cobra, you can die within 15 minutes if you're not treated. I had met people who had taken a knife and hacked off their own fingers to stop the venom reaching other parts of their arm, and that had saved their lives.
The cobra delivers a massive amount of fast-acting venom with each bite.
They can fell an elephant. They have enough venom to kill 20 men in one bite.
And since they come in contact with people so often, it's easy to get bitten. The next venomous threat also hunts in our homes. The scorpion. Usually associated with the desert, scorpions actually live almost everywhere in the world we do. Beaches, forests, even mountains. Not all scorpion species can kill people, but even the ones that can't pack a powerful punch. They hide in dark places and kill with a tail strike that takes prey and unsuspecting humans by surprise.
There are so many great, warm, dark places that they can hide, inside your shoes or in your bedding, just where we end up unsuspectingly putting our feet or our hands.
And they have some of the most painful venom on Earth.
The worst was being stung in Africa. It was so incredibly painful. It felt like a rod of iron being driven through my arm.
I was on an expedition down the Grand Canyon when one of our boaters was struck by a scorpion. And it was the most painful thing she had ever endured.
A scorpion sting can cause an agonizing death, but even this legendary killer doesn't have the most potent venom on Earth. The box jellyfish holds that title. These are the Indo-Pacific's most wanted.
Box jellyfish, among the most dangerous creatures you'd ever want to encounter.
Up to 60 tentacles are spring-loaded with millions of darts. On contact, they trigger at lightning speed, shooting venom into their victims. They usually go after small fish and shrimp, but will fire on anything that brushes up against them. Human legs are no exception.
Their stinging apparatus can be so deadly and so quick that their victims can go into shock and drown before the venom actually does its work.
So which of the venom killers claims the most human lives? Rattlesnakes are expert killers, but they generally warn before they strike. In the U.S., they kill an estimated 6 people a year. That's only slightly more than are killed by roller coasters. box jellies take a higher toll. Yearly, they kill up to 40 people in the Philippines alone. Scorpions live among us, so their kill rate is high. 3,000 people each year, mostly in the Middle East and North Africa. But it's the cobra that tops out with the highest body count. Statistics are scarce because many people die without making it to a hospital. But scientists estimate that cobras kill tens of thousands of people every year. So how do you avoid getting killed by a cobra? Stay away from dense undergrowth, where cobras like to hide, and wear tall boots to help deflect a bite. Your best bet is not to get bitten. Back away if you see a cobra in the grass. They have excellent range and can strike from a meter away. Stay still and calm if you do get bitten. A pounding heart will spread the venom. Send someone else for help. So we have our top predator, and the animal most likely to kill us with venom. The next group of animals has a different MO. With them, it's a turf war. Not all animal killers seek us out. Some strike us down for trespassing on their territory. They defend their homes the same way we do.
Animals are territorial like humans are territorial. I mean, it's about survival. It's about carving out a part of their world. So they're going to kind of be defensive first and kind of ask questions later.
One of Africa's most fiercely territorial animals might come as a surprise. Hippos.
A hippo's appearance belies its natural ability to move at lightning speeds.
A male hippo will aggressively defend his stretch of river, along with its resident females. And it's never a good idea to get between a hippo and his harem.
Hippos' mouths are so powerful, they can actually bite a crocodile in half.
They can actually bite through a boat, for instance, of a human crossing water, staying in the boat ostensibly to stay away from the crocodiles, right? And not seeing the hippo as the real threat.
Even staying on land doesn't always help. Hippos come out to feed at night and trample anything that gets between them and the safety of the water. The next animal may come as a shock. It's one we treat like a member of the family. Dogs are fiercely territorial. An animal control officer is attacked while responding to a report of a dangerous pit bull.
I've seen firsthand the damage that a domestic pet can do. I've seen a Staffordshire Bull Terrier jump up and attach itself to a young boy's face. It is staggering that man's best friend can reap so much damage amongst people.
Sometimes we use our dog's aggressive instincts to our advantage. But they're not always under our control. Almost 400 million stray dogs roam the planet. And in some parts of the world, they patrol the streets in packs. In the US, Alaska has the biggest problem, with sled dogs that get loose and run wild.
When they get together, it's just like wolves. The pack instinct takes over.
Feral dogs don't see humans as a pack leader. And so when we come along, we are not the authority.
We're a threat entering their space, and they'll defend it at all costs. So who are the most dangerous defenders of territory? Despite sharp claws and aggressive tactics, ostriches only kill an estimated 2 people per year, equivalent to the number of Americans killed beneath vending machines that topple over. Dogs aren't always our best friends. Worldwide stats are vague, but in America alone, they kill roughly 20 people per year. But the deadliest territorial defender is easily the veggie-eating, river-dwelling hippo. Hippos are reported to kill an astonishing 300 people per year, and many of the deaths happen on land. So how do you avoid a hippo attack? Heed the no trespassing signs. Don't swim or boat in waters where hippos live. Males have been known to defend their stretch of river to the death. On land, avoid hippo trails. They use well-worn paths to get back to water, so don't block their escape routes. Hide. An attacking hippo is not trying to eat you, so he may lose interest if you get out of sight. The next group of killers defend themselves, not their territory. These are the masters of self-defense. Like humans, animals instinctively defend themselves and their families. When they feel threatened, they become some of the most intimidating creatures on Earth. And the biggest self-defender, literally, is the elephant. In Zimbabwe's Mana Pools National Park, a group of tourists is getting up close and personal with the wildlife. A little too personal. Their car is totaled. Luckily, everyone gets out alive. So what triggered the attack? The tourists are following an elephant herd on the move. But the Jeep comes between a baby and its mother. The calf is visibly nervous.
When the young animal feels threatened, even if the mom doesn't feel threatened, it amps her up too. And if the threat is between them and she can't see an easy path to defend her young, that is a dangerous animal.
That's exactly what happens here. Mom is on one side, the calf on the other. She rushes to his defense. Elephants may be the biggest, but they're not the only animals to throw their weight around in defense. In North America, the bison uses its brawn to take down threats. In Yellowstone National Park, bison are one of the big draws. But get too close and they can be dangerous, especially the males. A tourist at Old Faithful doesn't realize the risk. He walks up to a bison and pays the price. It's an attack Lou-Anne Freer knows well. Her medical team treated the victim.
He had been gored in the back of the leg, which is classic. Our victims who are gored by bison almost always have their wounds from the thigh up to the back, and it's because they're always running away.
The man survived, but was left with some nasty scars to remind him of the attack. A bison's hooves and horns are a lethal threat. But brown bears take intimidation to a whole new level. These Alaska hunters are looking for a place to camp when they come around a bend and startle 3 bear cubs.
Yeah, so cubs, whew, yeah, that's a dangerous situation right there. You know there's going to be a mom coming into the picture soon. A really frightened, distressed, defensive mother.
Mom comes charging to their defense.
I have been in that situation many times. That was a very serious charge. I mean, that looked like she would have gone all the way.
The hunter's reaction, firing his gun into the water to scare off the bear, probably saves their lives. If the mother bear had followed through, the hunters would have been in serious trouble. Her long claws and powerful jaws could have severed arteries and punctured skulls. So who are the deadliest defenders? Raging bulls charge often, but bison only kill about 1 person every 7 years. Compare that to cattle, which kill about 20 Americans every year. Angry brown bears are a terrifying sight, but they usually opt for intimidation over attack. Believe it or not, they kill only 1 person a year on average. Elephants are the true masters of self-defense. They're estimated to kill a whopping 600 people every year. Compare that to the 450 Americans who die falling out of bed. So how do you avoid a run-in with an elephant? Keep your distance. Never approach an elephant in the wild. Don't run. Elephants often bluff charge, so stand your ground, then slowly back away. Don't play dead. Elephants sometimes kneel on and crush people who curl up on the ground. The next group of animals to count down, those that kill us without even trying. First on the list of unwitting killers, deer. On North Dakota roads, drivers must worry about more than just other cars.
You would have no chance of knowing that was coming. Deer just ran right into the headlights in front of the car.
They don't have that instinctive capability to see how fast a vehicle may be moving.
The animals get blinded by the headlights and can't outmaneuver such fast-moving threats. Deer cause well over 1 million car crashes every year in the U.S. Many of them are fatal to both people and deer. And it's not only drivers who have to worry.
Oh, look at that! I didn't see that coming. Neither did he.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
These skateboarders are racing nearly 60 kilometers an hour when a deer tries to merge into traffic. There's no intent, but the damage is done. Bambi can deliver a knockout.
Holy! That was so radical! Is that dude all right?
The next accidental killers are a lot smaller than deer, but they can be just as deadly. For most of us, a bee sting is a painful annoyance.
A bee sting isn't meant to kill you. It really is just there to warn you.
In fact, it's a suicide mission for the bee, whose abdomen gets pulled out when it stings. It's giving up its life for the good of the hive. But for an unlucky few who get stung, the warning turns into a death warrant.
Where it's deadly is when you have an allergy that causes your body to react to that venom.
An allergic reaction comes on hard and fast. The pulse quickens. Hives erupt. Blood pressure plummets. The throat swells shut. It can all be over in a matter of minutes. And when bees swarm, even people who aren't allergic can succumb.
Even without an allergy to a bee sting, if you go into an area and are stung by thousands of bees, there is enough venom en masse there to kill you.
The next unwitting assassins kill in a very different way. Blood-sucking mosquitoes carry killers inside them. They're the scourge of humanity. Like heat-seeking missiles, they zero in on warmth, sweat, and the carbon dioxide we exhale.
Mosquitoes are the bane of my life. They always go for me. And I've made a mistake because the ones that bite you are the females. Now, I've been saying, "Ah, you bastard." In fact, what I should be saying now in the future is, "You bitch."
The females need nutrients from our blood to produce their eggs. Their saliva makes us itch, but it also carries lethal microbes. When these viruses and parasites enter our bloodstream, they can trigger malaria, West Nile virus, and many other fatal diseases.
When the mosquito transmits malaria, the infection actually develops in the blood cells and causes symptoms like break-bone sweats and fevers. It can infect the brain.
Malaria can be treated, but all too often, the people who get it don't have access to the help they need. There's only one sure way to escape mosquitoes. Move to Antarctica. Mosquitoes live virtually everywhere else on Earth. So of all the accidental killers, which one leaves the biggest body count? Bees aren't usually trying to kill us, but an allergic reaction can be deadly. Every year, almost 50 Americans die from their stings. Bambi is no predator either, but in the United States, collisions with deer cause 200 human fatalities a year. The unlikely frontrunner, the mosquito. They cause up to 2.7 million deaths each year from malaria alone. That's about 5 people every minute. So how do you avoid these deadly bloodsuckers? Know if you're a prime target. Mosquitoes bite larger people, pregnant women, and people with type O blood more often. Beware between dusk and dawn when mosquitoes are most active, especially near water. Protect yourself with long clothing and bug repellent. As the earth warms, mosquitoes will spread. And so will the diseases they carry. But global warming is also setting us on a collision course with some surprising new threats. As our planet warms and we continue to spread out across it, we're setting the stage for some new dangerous animal encounters. In the Arctic, tourists seek out polar bears on photo safaris. But not all polar bear interactions are so benign. With the sea ice melting, the bears are being forced to hunt ashore, closer to human settlements.
Polar bears aren't afraid of us. They're adept predators. As their natural habitat and their natural prey shrinks, it is not hard to imagine that there will be more conflicts between polar bears and humans.
They are the largest living carnivores on land and will happily make a meal out of us if given the chance. At the moment, polar bears kill one person every 3 years. Global warming could push that number up as it forces them closer to us. But it's more likely to push this critically endangered species into extinction. Further south, their smaller cousins are becoming more of a menace. In Yosemite National Park, black bears know where there are people, there's food. Caught in the act, the bear is undeterred. When rangers approach, it charges.
These are dangerous bears. They can smell food from miles away. If you're in bear territory, you cannot have food lying around.
And more, we live in bear territory, putting ourselves and our homes right in their path. Black bear attacks aren't common. Brown bears charge and kill people more often. The difference is that when black bears attack, it's more likely predatory. More chance they'll eat you after they kill you.
The black bear, if it's started to attack you, it won't stop. You have to fight for your life. You have to get up and punch and give it everything you've got to save yourself.
Human deaths from black bears average 1 every 2 years. But watch for that number to rise. Still, that's a far cry from the 40,000 black bears killed by hunters in the U.S. and Canada every year. The third up-and-comer to beware of, the cougar. People rarely see them. They stalk in silence. And then they pounce.
Cougars scare me. I remember vividly going for a jog once in cougar territory and feeling like I was being watched. And I must have looked like a crazy person because I was running like this, protecting my neck and kind of with a paranoid look around.
Cougars prowl the outer suburbs of Los Angeles, Denver, and many other cities in the West. And now they're moving back to old haunts in the East as well. It's a conservation success story, but it comes with risks. Though there have been fewer than 24 fatal cougar attacks in the past century, almost half of them have occurred in the last 20 years. But that's still low compared to today's deadliest killers. And now that we've seen them all, it's time for our final rankings. The animals most likely to kill us if we give them the chance. Tigers, a top predator, take 5th place, killing an estimated 800 people a year. 4th place goes to another predator, the crocodile, which takes out as many as 2,000 people per year. 3rd place, a venom killer, the scorpion. Annual human death toll, 3,000. The number 2 spot goes to the cobras. With their fast-acting venom and proximity to humans, they kill tens of thousands of us every year. And the number 1 killer, it's the smallest animal on the list, causing up to 2.7 million deaths from malaria each year. The mosquito takes the biggest bite of all. They're living their lives, doing what they do, just like every other creature out there. Sometimes it's at our expense, but at the end of the day, we still do a lot more damage to animals than they do to us.